UEFA publicly confirm Jean-Claire Todibo transfer ban to Manchester United. Casemiro apparently has been speaking to Erik ten Hag, trying to convince him to keep him next season. Plus also the latest on Marcus Rashford, Joshua Zirkzee, Matthijs de Ligt and Manuel Ugarte. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this evening's show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Let's try and see 500 likes on today's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. But today I'm doing it a bit earlier because obviously the Euros is on. But usually it's those times. So yeah, let's get straight on into it though, shall we? And let's start the show off with a bit of an update on Joshua Zirkzee. So this is coming out from multiple different people this afternoon. And the general headline is, I'm just going to rattle through the kind of transfer news quickly, and then we'll talk about Ineos, Jean-Claire Todibo and Casemiro. So in relation to transfers, let's do that nice and quickly. Let's do Joshua Zirkzee first. So in relation to Joshua Zirkzee, apparently Manchester United have now agreed personal terms with the player. The player wants to move to the club. Apparently Erik ten Hag has been speaking to Joshua Zirkzee daily, you know, trying to, I guess, keep him interested, because for whatever reason, this deal is taking a little bit longer to conclude than maybe some would have hoped. But what we have to remember is obviously the Euros are still on. And I think until the Netherlands are out of the Euros, we're still going to be talking about this, which seems a little bit strange because obviously João Paulinho has confirmed that he's moving from Fulham to Bayern, but yet he's starting every game for the Portugal national team. So why is it okay for him to confirm he's leaving, but it's not okay for Zirkzee, who sat on the bench, to confirm? I don't know. I don't understand the bit of that, but it is what it is. So yeah, Joshua Zirkzee, terms agreed. Player wants to move. It's just a case of now apparently waiting until the Euros is over. There is a bit of a twist in it though. Apparently Juventus have entered the race to sign him, and apparently AC Milan are still sniffing around the deal. I don't know. I mean, if we lost Joshua Zirkzee now, that would be an absolute disaster. I'm sorry, because who do we go for then? Guirassi's moved to Dortmund. Ivan Toney's going to cost you 60 to 80 million. Who else is there? There isn't really anybody else, is there? I know there's that Maximilian Bayer guy from the Bundesliga, but we haven't really been linked to him. There's Jonathan David, but again, is that really what we want to go for? And I think quite a lot of people are interested in him. So they need to make sure they get this one over the line. I think they will, but as I said, there is competition. Juventus are apparently interested. AC Milan are apparently interested. So we really, really need to make sure we get this deal signed. And hopefully here's our first deal of the summer. Moving over to Matthijs de Ligt. Bit of an update there. Almost a similar story with Matthijs de Ligt as it is to Joshua Zirkzee. Apparently, Matthijs de Ligt has agreed personal terms with Manchester United. He's apparently willing to take a pay reduction, which is surprising. Apparently he's willing to take a pay. What do you call it? A pay decrease, I guess. Yeah. At the moment, he's on about 300k a week at Bayern. Manchester United have apparently agreed a deal of around 200k a week. Again, the news I've been given is that Manchester United are having to wait until the Netherlands are out of the Euros before they can submit a bid and get the deal over the line, which again seems stupid considering De Ligt isn't playing. But if that's the way it's going to work, then that's the way it's going to work. You know, there's not really much we can do about it, being completely honest. But there we go. Hopefully De Ligt and Zirkzee are kind of announced next week. The first team returned to training on Monday, which is pretty crazy. Literally this Monday, a lot of the players will be back. Maguire, Rashford, who else? Trying to think who else. Ahmad, Hannibal, I guess. Willy Campoala, Wan-Bissaka. Like, there'll be a lot of players back in training on Monday. It's only, you know, the players who are at the Euros and Copa America that aren't going to be there. Casemiro will be back on Monday. Like, most of the first team will be there on Monday for the training. So I think a lot of stuff will start happening next week, because obviously once the players are back at Carrington, Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford, Dan Ashworth, whoever it will be sitting them down and talking to them about their future. Whereas at the moment, they're all on holiday. Lawazi says, do you think Greenwood will be back? Yeah, Greenwood will be back on Monday. Yeah, Greenwood will be back and Sancho will be back. My understanding is that apparently Manchester United want to push through the deal of Mason Greenwood by Monday. That's what I've been told. Apparently, like, they want to do it this weekend. Marseille and Lazio are the two clubs who are kind of bidding with each other to get the deal over the line. But at the moment, they're about £20 million off Manchester United's valuation for Greenwood. So even though there are clubs interested in Greenwood, none of them are paying anywhere near the amount of money that Manchester United are asking for. So it's a bit of a sticky situation, to be honest. We've got over 250 people watching live now, which is absolutely amazing. If everyone could do me a small favour and smash a like on the video, I've set a likes target of 500 for today's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel as well. We're only a couple of subscribers away from 25,900. So if this is your first time watching, please do go and subscribe. Get involved. It's completely free content. Everyone is welcome. Keeping on the topics of outgoings, quick one on McTominay. Apparently Galatasaray and Fulham are both battling it out to sign Scott McTominay. We obviously know that Joao Paulinho has left Fulham going to Bayern Munich, so Fulham are desperate to sign a new central midfielder. Obviously, they had a bid rejected last summer of around £40 million for Scott McTominay on transfer deadline day. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with McTominay. I do think a deal will probably get done. It's just a matter of for how much money and when. But obviously, you can let me know in the comment section what you think about Scott McTominay. Should he be sold? Should he be kept? Let me know what you think. Quickly on Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho's situation is a real mess, to be honest with you. There are lots of clubs interested. Juventus, Barcelona, Dortmund. All of these clubs want to sign him, but none of them are willing to pay any money for him. They want to loan him. It's an absolute mess. Obviously, they all know that Ineos don't want him, Erik ten Hag doesn't want him, and Jadon Sancho doesn't even want to come back. So it's a complete mess. And effectively, this situation now means that because nobody wants to pay, we effectively either let him go out on loan or what do we do with him? You know, like, we keep him? I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. On my video earlier on today, I floated the idea of maybe we could do a swap deal. Jadon Sancho goes to Juventus and Chiesa comes to Manchester United. Like, maybe something like that's the reality. But it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. Would you do Chiesa for Sancho swap deal? Let me know what you think. Okay, moving on from that. I want to talk a little bit about this Jean-Claire Todibo story. So this is on the official UEFA website. This is an official statement from UEFA. So I'm going to read it out to you. It says Manchester United and Nice and Man City and Girona will not be allowed to transfer players to each other, whether permanently or on loan, directly or indirectly, from July 2024 until September 2025. With the exception of pre-existing transfer agreements. So they've effectively said, no deal. Jean-Claire Todibo is banned from joining Manchester United. We'd be allowed to sign him after September 2025. But if Manchester United and Nice are in the same European competition next season, we wouldn't be able to sign him again. So it's a really, really awkward situation, to be honest with you. And it doesn't seem like there's going to be a way around it. Now, what does this mean for Manchester United? Who are we going to sign instead? It looks like we're going to get De Ligt, but the news I've been told is that we're going for 2 centre-backs. We want 2, not 1. So now that Jean-Claire Todibo is effectively out of the race, 100%, this is on the UEFA website. It's, you know, a massive report they've put out today. Who do we go for instead? Do we go back in for Jared Branthwaite? Like, who do you go for instead? Let me know in the comment section. Jean-Claire Todibo is not happening. It's been banned. It's, you know, it's literally on the UEFA website. They're not going to allow it to happen. So yeah, we're stuffed effectively in that manner. I guess the best option now would probably be Jared Branthwaite, I guess. You know, but the thing with Jared Branthwaite is it's just too much money for me. £70 million for a centre back. I mean, that's crazy. It just reminds me of Harry Maguire all over again. If we could have got Branthwaite for like 40, 50 million pounds, I think it would have been a great bit of business. You know, he has a lot of potential. He can play at left back as well, which I like. He can play left-sided centre-back or right-sided centre-back. Like, he's a versatile centre-back, Branthwaite. But 70 million plus add-ons is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like, there is no way on earth, transfer market-wise, that he's worth that. And I know people will say, effectively, he's worth whatever Everton want to value him at, you know? Because if Everton don't want to sell him, they might just say he's worth 70 million and we either pay it or we don't get him. You know, that's the black and white of it. But yeah, it is a really, really stupid situation, to be honest, this whole thing. You know, like, I don't get why they're banning players from joining. As long as we pay the fair market value, why does it matter? If Manchester United want to pay £40 million for Jean-Claire Todibo, why are we not allowed to pay it? Like, It's not like we're going to buy him for £1 and a packet of crisps, you know? Manchester United were going to pay the fair market value. So why is that an issue? I understand in the case of like Red Bull Salzburg selling Benjamin Sesko to Red Bull Leipzig last season, right? In that instance, Benjamin Sesko was worth about 40-50 million pounds, right? And Red Bull Salzburg sold him to Leipzig for 20 million euros. And that was because they could, and they were owned by the same club, you know? Sorry, owned by the same owners. So I understand it in that situation. There should be like an external body who look at the transfer and say, right, we value this player at this amount. This is how much he should be allowed to be sold for. And then either Man United pay it or they don't. And if they don't, the transfer's blocked. Like, that would be the most logical way of doing this. But it seems like UEFA haven't quite, got their head around it yet. Big ups to Fred, who's just gifted 5 memberships to the Daily Red Devil Members Club. Thank you very much for your support, my friend. I hope you are doing well. I hope you're, I hope you're all good, mate. I hope everything is good with you. Really, really appreciate the support. Thank you very much for that. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat quickly. Somebody says the cost to sign Branthwaite is too much. He is not worth that. I agree with you fully. Luazi says, I feel bad for the kid. And remember, Eric Ten Hag has never been in training with Greenwood. What if Ten Hag likes what he sees and stay against selling him? I don't know how we've gone back to Greenwood, but Eric Ten Hag wanted to bring Greenwood back. From a footballing perspective, there is no doubts that Mason Greenwood is a good footballer. There's no one questioning that. It's more of a... We know what the issue is. I know people seem to just forget about it, but Mason Greenwood as a footballer is a good footballer. There's no question about that. Would he improve our team? Yes. But it's just all of the rest of it, which Man United seem incapable of navigating. We'll wait and see what happens there. Big ups to Fred. Thank you very much for your support. I really, really do appreciate that. Right, I'm going to talk a little bit about Casemiro now quickly. It's only going to be a short show tonight because obviously we've got the Euros on in about 10 minutes, so I assume everyone will want to watch that. But the headline this evening is that apparently Casemiro has spoken to Ten Hag and expressed his desire to remain at the club next season. He's apparently apologised for Eric Ten Hag for his poor performances last season. It says Casemiro has said he was dissatisfied with his performances and wants to make amends. Now, I honestly think that Casemiro could come good next season. He's not... You don't just suddenly turn rubbish overnight. We had a terrible defence. We had a new goalkeeper. Like, the whole team was a mess from back to front. So it's not just Casemiro who was poor last season. I would say this, okay? If we get a big bid for Casemiro, then I think you obviously have to accept it. But, if we're practically giving him away, then we may as well keep him because I do think he'll offer something. Imagine Casemiro in the Europa League playing against lesser teams. Like, he's going to dominate that midfield, you'd hope. So I'm not absolutely desperate for Casemiro to go. I just think that, if a decent-sized offer comes in, we should definitely consider it. But it just all depends on whether that offer does come in. Apparently, Saudi clubs are circling for him. Saudi clubs want to bring him to the Saudi League. But it's just whether that happens, Maybe they say the money's too much. Maybe they say we're looking at other options. But obviously, I'll keep you updated on that as and when I get more news on it. But as it stands at the moment, Casemiro apparently desperate to stay at Manchester United. And whether or not he will or not, we'll obviously wait and see. Stephanie says United are treating Casemiro like we did with Matic. Yeah, that's fair. Rack says, but we have to still pay him 350k a week in wages. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. Yeah, I agree. His wages are ridiculous. But again, that was the fault of John Murtaugh, Richard Arnold, and the Glazers. That's nothing to do with Ineos, is it? But we'll wait and see what happens with that one. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It was just a short one. There won't be a video at 6 because obviously the Euros is on. I will be back at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. I hope everyone has a great evening. There's lots of football to enjoy. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video before you leave. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and I'll speak to you all at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, Saturday morning. Bye for now.